Right, it is week 147. I think it's 147. Right, yeah, so it's maintenance day. So this week I have ordered a Zellerman's ICP test. I tend to do one probably every 8 weeks, every couple of months, unless I make any changes to dosing or whatever. Like when I started the sodium hydroxide, I did one each month just to check nothing untoward was being dosed in with it. Yep, so I've got that. Still running the Lacto pellet from Tropic Marin. Equipment wise, I have a very slow leak with this something in this area. I can't pin it down. I think it might be the seals on the Vectra pump. So I've got a Vectra L1 which circulates this water in this tank, and I think it's very hard to tell where it's coming from. But I think it may be leaking somewhere off the seal. I mean, it's a very slow leak. I'm not particularly. I just put some kitchen roll down there and I'll replace it every day. But leaks tend to get worse, not better, really. So I will have to deal with it at some point. But yeah, so that's. I think it's the pump. I hope it's the pump because that'd be an easy fix if it's just a seal gone. I can't really think what else it is because I mean the tank's pretty sealed. So, and I've checked the bulkhead at the bottom of the tank. It's definitely not that. So it's either the pump or it could be the waste on the sink, I suppose. But it feels dry. But anyway, yeah. So I've got an issue down there. I need to sort. I'll probably wait a couple of months till the weather's a bit better. It's freezing cold at the moment. So I'm not inspired. Not inspired to deal with it. I'll tuck that away. I'll worry about that later. Yeah, but other than that, it's been a pretty straightforward week. Sorry, rather. Yeah, so that's the only thing. Tank seems fine. So it's been a very busy week in the tank, to be honest, this week, because a fellow reefer broke down I think it was a Red Sea Reefer 650, which was, I don't know how old it was, probably 6-7 years old, I guess. So it was pretty full of corals, and so I took a lot of corals off of him. So I've got a lot of stag corals, got a lot of chalices, got some gonies, I've got some trachys, some lobos. Yeah, a whole kind of mix of stuff really. So I want to got a massive clam off of him as well. So what I'll probably do, even though this is a maintenance video, I will just add some footage in of the clam and some bits of the coral. So there's that. And while I'm on the subject of coral, I've got a Postlepora in here. I think it's called a tricolour Postlepora, which is quite nice. I've had it for years. I had it in my old Red Sea tank. I brought it over, and they're easy. It's an easy coral. It just grows. But the main thing I don't like about them is they're very brittle, and they remind me of a conifer tree, really. So as soon as you like remove a piece on the outside, the middle's just white, bleached, and looks pretty rubbish. And the trouble is in this tank, because I've got big tangs in there that just blast through. They hit it and it just fractures. So what I had probably like a colony, I don't know, like that, I suppose, probably 6 inches round, maybe. And they've smashed probably 2/3 of it to pieces. So now I've got like 3 kind of stalks and then just a massive white piece, which was the interior, and the rest of it is scattered all over the bottom of the tank. And the trouble is, it'll probably grow in several different places now because that's what happened to them. So I think I may actually just take that out and put something more robust, which is not going to just fracture and break all over the tank. So that's my thinking on that. So yeah, other than that, I think what did I buy? I bought pH calibration fluid this week. Just going to check that my pH probe is on point. They're pretty good. It's Apex one. So basically, I just open the 7 sachet and I just rinse the probe off in some RO, and then I'll drop it in there and I'll see what it reads. So if it reads 7 in that solution, I won't bother calibrating it. If it doesn't, obviously I will. I've got a 4, a 7, and a 10, I think, solution. Yeah, so if it reads off, then I'll calibrate it properly. But they're pretty good. They seem to hold their calibration for a long time. I can't remember the last time I've done it. It's probably 6 months ago or something. Yeah, so I think that's it this week. I actually had the aircon on this week. Because even though it's freezing cold today, it's been very mild the first couple of weeks of February. And so I've had my little trusty portable aircon unit on. I've just been keeping the temps nice and steady. Yeah, so I think I can't think of anything else that I need to talk about. So what I'll do is I will just add the footage in of the new corals and the clam into this video rather than doing a separate update really. Yeah, I think that's it. So I will see you in the next one. So some of these pieces I have yet to decide where to put them, hence it's sitting on the floor. If that keeps its colour, I might just leave it there to grow up. It's a nice bit of stag. So I'm not going to name these corals simply because I can't if I wanted to, because I don't know what they're called. So I'm sure there's people looking at and know what these are. But anyway, so that's a nice colony size piece that I picked up. That's that Tutti Frutti frag that I was talking about earlier in one of the previous videos. That's in there is the clam that I picked up. So that's a big old Dorasa clam, and it looks stunning in real life. Just over behind it is a banana pora, which is doing really well. There's a little green gonny down there. It's growing very nicely. Which I picked up as a frag. Seems very happy. There's my other Dorasa. This clam is a pain because I don't know why, but it's got 2 uneven shells. So this half is bigger than the other half, which means I have to try and wedge it, which is why it's in that gap. Because it won't sit up like that clam does on its own base. I don't know why, but it's been like it. I've had that clam for, I mean, it's in the years and it's always grown, just in a weird shape. So I don't know why, but anyway. So yeah, so I mean, it's kind of slumped a bit, but I do wedge it between 2 rocks. I mean, it's difficult obviously because you have to allow it to open as well. So that's why it sits at a strange angle, but it seems happy. Hopefully that John Dory won't start growing over its shell because that might cause a problem. But that seems happy. That is another frag I picked up. These are just corals that have been in there a while. So I don't know if you remember actually, but I used to have that over the back there, that green Celtipora, isn't it? Was up here and it was just growing massive. So I decided I took it off and it all come up in one massive chunk, and I literally just put it on the bottom of the tank down the back there, and as that coral grows anywhere, it seems it's just grown into a massive colony at the back of the tank. So this is a new gonny. It's a bit weird because it doesn't fully extend, and yet all the tentacles do come out just at different points. So I haven't really worked out what he's doing at the moment. So we'll just have to see how we go with that. I've actually moved it because I did have it in another spot that had really high flow and it was clearly not happy. So I've moved it to here. So I mean, there's a gonny obviously just behind it, which is happy enough. And there's that little green base red polyp gonny, which is reasonably happy. That is my Maxima clam just over the back there. It's a little chat, a couple of inches. But yeah, he's doing quite happy. That stag there is a new coral. Now, I think if you remember, I was talking about the Poscopora, so you can see the state of that. So it got absolutely smashed to pieces probably 2 or 3 days ago, and all the bits are, yeah, look, just sitting there. So I might just remove that because it's just a pain. It just breaks off constantly and just gets scattered around the tank. And it's a tricolour poster. I quite like it, but it's just, I don't want things which are high maintenance really. Stylo, obviously growing like the storm, like stylos do. Another turbinaria at the back there. I like turbinaria, they're nice. I've got that one there, which is a kind of lilac colour, and then I've got that. It's a kind of yellow gold. I think, yeah, I've got another piece there actually. I think that's exactly the same piece that I broke into two. So me growing. I just like the morphology of them. I'm not always all the ways about the colour. It's just nice to have different growth forms of coral, really. Right, so that, what would you call that? Kind of blue, I guess, tipped, is a new coral. I don't know what it is. And that is new. And that is not new. That's my wild Aussie. I guess that's a stag, is it? I don't know really. Seems quite happy, it's doing nicely. That is new. It obviously needs a lot of colouring up because it was probably shaded in the other tank. And that is new, it's stuck on there, sort of far there. That is new down there. So anything else? Millie at the back is growing really well. That is meant to be a barley slimer, but I'm pretty sure it isn't because that's not how they grow. It was sold to me as a barley slimer. I don't actually know what that is, but it's very happy. There is my other large Dorasa clam. That stag there is new, and that's another gonny which is new, and that is another chalice which is new. That is my gold master chalice, which I've grown from a very small 25mm frag that I bought. There. Oh, I missed my. So I've got a rainbow chalice there, and yeah, I picked up another one from that tank breakdown, which is there. You probably spotted that, but I didn't. So I actually, when I was cutting all these corals up, because a lot of them come on plugs and they were quite large, and I was chopping bits off one of the, I ended up throwing that in the bin by mistake, that rainbow chalice, because when they're out of the water, they just look brown. I thought it was just a chunk of dead frag, to be honest, on a plug, and I threw it in the bin. And then at the end, when I put everything in there, I was sort of going, where'd that rainbow chalice go? And luckily, I hunted in the bin and found it, and it was wrapped up in some wet tissue, so it was okay. Right, so that sort of pinky looking frag is also new, and that green frag is also new. That next to my sulking Duncans, that frag is also new. That is new, not the candy canes, but that, I think that's Sebastria. Well, I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. That's new. That pinky gold tipped new. The Turbinaire is bright green one at the back. New. Those stags there are new, as is that chalice. That stag there is also new, and quite difficult to see, but that is a very large gonny stuck in the middle of those rocks. It's a good spot for the gonny because the flow is probably just nice for a gonny, but can't see it that well, but I'm sure over the years it'll grow up. Right over the back, down the bottom, is another colony. I don't know what it is, but we'll see what happens with it. Yeah, so that's what happens when you have a gonny in a massively high flow area. And that's grown considerably. But that is, believe it or not, the same species, because I cleaved it in half because it came out my old tank, as that one that I showed you earlier there. See that big, massively long, polyped, flowing gonny? That is exactly the same species as this one here. So it just shows you the difference that the flow makes. So I think eventually that gonny will grow around the corner probably. It'll probably grow over the stag that's there. And then it would probably get longer polyps when it gets out that flow, but you can see it gets absolutely hammered by it because there's nothing really restricting the flow from that MP60. So it gets bashed by that. But anyway, it's alive, it's growing. I quite like that form actually. Right, so what else is new? That's not new, it's been there for ages. Monty Cat's not new. That's that. Never remember the name of it. Fire and Ice. It's very slow growing, that coral. What else is new? This is new. That's a big old chunk of coral, isn't it? Oh yeah, and I got a frag of, you know what, I can't remember what it's called. Everyone will know the name of that, but it's, I don't know, I thought that copper was going to start eating that right in front of my eyes. Roger Rampage, that's it, I knew it comes to me again. Yeah, that's new. That gold hammer seems very happy there, so that's not new. Well, it's quite new actually, but it's not new from the tank breakdown. Yeah, so I think essentially there might be a couple of bits that I've missed, but that is kind of everything really. I've still got some room down this end of the tank for stuff, but both MP60s make it difficult to put anything there really. Yeah, so that's it. So essentially that is just a quick tour of the tank and all of the new corals which are in it. Yeah, like see there's a coral sitting right over the back down the bottom on the floor. That's a chalice, and it's very difficult. Yeah, so there's a green-eyed chalice right next to it as well, which I think has moved because I don't remember it being there. And if you remember a while ago, I glued my gem tangs mouth together, and right at the back down the bottom there, get out of the way, fish. Don't know if it's gonna. No, it's not gonna. No, won't focus on it. That's the challenge. I was trying to stick to the back wall and it dropped. Now it's super glued to the bottom of the tank there. So I'm hoping, I mean, it looks all right, to be honest. So I'm hoping it'll just grow there, really. Yeah, so I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else. Um, Obviously, I've got my massive colony of Hollywood stunner, which I've still just, you can, you can tell where the glass scraper just keeps a nice flat edge on that. Um, yeah, I like that coral. Most people just don't like them because they grow too quick, but I love that. Just the shape of it, I think, is amazing. Yeah, so yeah, so that's it. I think that's I've been working in the tank, so it doesn't look as clear as it could have, but it is slowly filling out with coral. I think that is about it.